Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad and this is SuperCoach Pro. Today's video we're doing the rounds of 12 SuperCoach team review. For my score this week, I scored 1937 and we actually moved up in the ranks to 8,520. Probably the best we've been so far, just from such a slow start. Sort of making good trades along the way, and we did a last minute curveball. Because we missed out on Humphrey, we felt like we needed another rookie to produce cash. And I just did something that doesn't make sense for my side long term, but just the cash said it had to be done. So looking pretty hot, pretty cold on trades, to be honest, with 9 trades to go. I think I got maybe 3 upgrades to do. It was very hard to work out when your players are on the bench. So we'll go through the side and see how we went. Now, I'm pretty sure I watched every game bar the Gold Coast and Adelaide game. I only got glimpses of it because I was watching the Dogs and Cats game, so I can actually give you a bit of info this weekend. It's what happens when you don't spend time with the missus on the weekend for once. Starting off down back, Stewart 127, just intercepted everything coming through because the Dogs just sort of hacked kicks every now and then, and he just positioned himself right, doing typical Stewart things. So it was a great pick. 127, you take that every day of the week. Now, VC 123 for Dacos is a little bit underwhelming, but no real guys went massive bar track, so I felt he was the safest option to sort of captain this week because, Bont was underwhelming and all these other players around him were that are highly owned. So 123 is actually a pretty good captain score this week, which sounds stupid, but if you look at the round scores, is actually pretty decent. And then Zeeble 59. It is interesting. Aaron Hall's killed his scoring at the moment, and I'm considering flipping him. But just before I move on to Zeeble completely, how do you get 30 plus disposals, Nick Dacos, and kick 3 goals and not be rewarded 130, 140 ish at least? I just feel like that's unders. Maybe contested possession count wasn't very high, which is pretty usual for him anyway. But yeah, I thought that was under scales. I feel like if that was a track game, that would have been 180. Even Heaney gets scaled for ridiculous things. So yeah, I would have been annoyed about that. But anyway, moving on to Zeeble, kicked out in the full a couple of times today. Just looked really, really crap, to be honest. And yeah, he's still averaging 101 from when I bought him in anyway, thereabouts. And I'm just really not sure what to do with him. I'll probably just upgrade around him, and that's been the philosophy the whole season: is upgrade the rookies off the field first before you touch any of the other guys, regardless of losing cash. Will Day is interesting. He's 440 now, so he's not worth trading out. I bought him for 450, so I'm not too disappointed or disheartened. His role looked good. They chucked him down back. He had a lot of it. He did some stupid things every now and then. But if they play him down back, I'm probably going to keep him because he looked okay, and I'm not too concerned. At this stage, I've got a couple plans to sort of loop some players in the back end of the season. So I think I'll just keep him. There's no point upgrading guys at 440k. No way you can go sideways too. And Weddle 90. And this dude's so underrated for SuperCoach anyway, and he's outscoring Day, which is ridiculous this week. He's just such a good cash generation player, and I'm just not going to cull any rookies that haven't hit their break even. He's got a 38 break even, so I'm not going to move him on anytime soon, I don't think. Chincotta 61. He's probably a guy I will get rid of on his buy, so I'll give him 2 more weeks to play it out, see if he can get to 280, 290 maybe. I just think he holds his spot. He played well. He only had about 10 touches, I'm pretty sure, a lot of tackles, and kind of thought he was a little bit underscored for what he provided in the side. Bont 113. He copped a knock, looked a little bit injured, and just didn't do anything really for the last 40 minutes of the game. Just was stuck on 93 for a fair chunk of the game. And I can't remember which contest it was, but you just sort of know these sort of players just run out the game and they'll accumulate 20 points for 40 minutes, and you're just glad you haven't captained him because he was looking on track for a 130, 140. He's tearing the game apart. So Yeah, you don't want your non-VC and C options to go nuts either. So you kind of want them to just be steady without blowing you out the water, because you do have them, but you don't want them to go nuts and you've missed out on a VC that you have in your side, because I think that just hurts more than anything, to be honest. Merritt had like a 88 first quarter, and then just did nothing for quarter three. I think he scored -2, and he barely did anything for the rest of the match, really. He scored, 50 points over 3 quarters, and one of them was a -2 quarter. Um, so I know it sounds stupid, but his scoring was pathetic after what he dished out in the first quarter. I thought he was on track for the double ton, to be honest. And yeah, as soon as he got the tag, that was it. And it was Liam Shield that provided the tag, I'm pretty sure. And it just didn't see him wanting the easy possession to break the tag, or do anything different. He sort of just accepted that he was tagged. Um, and in a close game, you sort of want your captains to step up and not just be a role player. So I thought that was really strange. Taranto won 11. Just so consistent. Surely he's going to be All Australian. I know I am a Tigers bias, but like, man, he's good. Hacks the ball a little bit, but what contested midfielder doesn't sometimes? And he kicks goals. Like, he's actually done really well this season. I'd say he's one of the best midfield goal kickers this season. And set shots, for a bloke that can't kick, he's actually really good at set shots and kicking goals in general. Like last week, he kicked 4-goal-1, and yeah, I just love the pick. I think everyone's got him anyway. Laird 112 doesn't like the heat, clearly. Still around 600k mark, so probably a good buy around now. And then Dawson, I bought in. I traded out Ashcroft. He had a break even of 106. I traded out Radaglia because of a hammy for Eddie Ford. And then for Teakle, you'll see what I've done in the ruck line in a second. So the reason for Dawson last minute was 44% of the competition to have him. He's the only player that's really burning me bar Sicily. And I looked at his run and I thought, oh, wow, he's scored so high against Gold Coast. He's going to go nuts. And then he does an underwhelming 106. He was on 70 at like half time or something stupid with Laird. And then his next lineup looks ridiculous. West Coast, apart from the Collingwood game, he's still got North and Essendon and Giants in the next few games, and that was really appealing for me. And I just wanted to stop the bleeding, because this guy is in 47% of sides. He's just been killing me every week since I haven't had him, obviously. And I had him last year, and I just know what he can do. He's just so consistent. So, yeah, I had to bring him in. I'm burning through trades, but I just want to make fast upgrades. And the thought behind was that I'm losing out on not having Oliver, so I've got to get an upgrade on the field or somewhere else while holding him. And holding him is going to provide me such a sort of pod option, because he's only in 25% of the sides now instead of being 50% of the sides. So good luck bringing him back in now with cash gen, unless you got Humphrey and Atkins. Green, yeah, 89 was pretty underwhelming. Too handball friendly for mine. And Cogs just couldn't get near it. Yeah, this is kind of like the Fordine you expect in you, just to be underwhelming every now and then. You wait for his spike game somewhere, and then he'll even himself out. So I'm not too worried. I mean, he far out. I was about to go nuts then, but he's got North next week. Like, surely, I know they gave Essendon the scare, but surely he goes nuts. Like, he scored 174 against them last time they played at Marvel. So yeah, waiting for it. Maybe old mate Zach was right in the comments that I should have went Butters over him, but yeah, maybe you got me there. And Baker, just pathetic. He's going this week. I don't know who to, but he's just gone. Like, I've maxed out all the cash I can out of this bloke. I'm held him. He made an extra K. Well, he's made 182k. I've soaked the absolute juice out of him, and his break even is probably ridiculous for this guy. Break even's only 59 against Port. He probably won't make it. I'm just done with him, to be honest. Like, it's on his season average, so it probably means you get rid of him. And then English 156. I was actually really considering VCing him. All these experts saying, VC day cost into bonds, etc., etc. And I thought about VCing English, but then I didn't really have a captain option I wanted to go to if English failed. And the 1 week I don't go with my instinct as well. He just goes nuts, and I just thought he would beat Segel around the contest, around the ground. Sorry, and he absolutely did. So yeah, he was actually everywhere. It was ridiculous. And Briggs, it doesn't make sense for my side, honestly. It is stupid, honest, because I'm running these two guys, and I won't be able to use them this week because, well, obviously it's the Cats and the Gold Coast aren't playing. But it doesn't really make sense. It's just a cash gen thing. Like in round 14, all three of them are playing. So you're like, what the hell are you doing that for, Brad? So it is a little bit stupid, but I just felt like I missed out on Atkins and Humphrey, and I just knew that we leak ruck points because Nank isn't the best ruck tapman. And then I knew Ryan would be the next to take hit outs, and I just thought he would outbody him. I'm a little bit worried for the Goldstein matchup this week. Like, I'm hoping he does well enough that they hold him for Sean Darcy, and then he's got Melbourne Ruckman, so he does got a hard ruck gig coming up, but he just did that against Nank, done that against Marshall, and he's done that against, I don't know who, maybe Segler last week, potentially, but he's just ridiculous. He's made me 86K in 1 week, and he's still got a negative 32 break even. And even if he goes 91, he's making another 50K. So he's made you close to 140. Well, he has made you 141K or something like that in the space of 2 weeks. I probably won't flip him on his round 15 buy. I'll probably just juice him out until he gets to his break even average, I guess. It's what I sort of been doing of late. I don't think he's sustainable to do this with the ruckman he's got coming up against. So I'm not going to trade out English or Marshall or anything like that for him. He'll just be cover for 4 or 5 weeks as R3. Move McAndrew up there when I sell him, and then bring in an absolute primo for him. So that was the strategy behind that. Was I just need a little bit of extra cash gen, and I've been harping on how good my cash gen is, but I just thought I was one short of that real big boost because I can knock off Weddle, Chincotta. Johnson's probably not going to get high enough to cut. And then my forward line, I've got Hobbs I can cut, Mitchell I can cut. I'm just got to wait for him to get the 350, and Ford I can cut. But I just needed someone who was already a high price tag to get a little bit higher. And anyway, I've just been harping on Briggs too much. To score 128, had a clutch goal, and then got scaled down from 133 to 128. I can't complain for a guy that I traded Teakle for, and it's been my only good 200K plus target that I bought in this year. So it's the first time it hasn't failed. So I'm 1 for 3 now. And then I played at Safety and Captain Gordon. And Rosie 98, pretty underwhelming actually against Hawthorn, but Hawthorn restrict mids. So that's also the reason why I didn't hold Ashcroft, because he's got a 106 break even. I reckon at the G, he won't play well because he normally plays well at the Gabba, but not away from there. So I just feel like another poor score against Hawthorn, and he will actually start losing cash. So I thought I'd maxed him out at 409K for that very reason. I think he was a trade last week. And then Sheasel 72, they chucked him in the midfield when the game was on the line. Goes missing sometimes, just I don't know why. It's Aaron Hall that's really killing him and Zeeble, and it is bloody concerning. Hobbs is interesting. He's averaging me like 83 now. I only bought in Hobbs and Merritt because Mills and Hopper got injured, and I didn't have enough money. I could have went Kennedy or Hobbs, and they're done about the same sort of job. Now Hobbs break even 76. He's scored me a 90, 75, and 70. So his 3-round average is 78. And then Merritt's 3-round average is, I've just passed it, is 136. So I'm still getting about 100 points per this trade per player, as in if you combine their scores together from what I had as a Mills and Hopper situation. So I've still done well as a pair pick, I'm going to call them, for that trade, because I had no way of getting sort of mid prices. One had to be a premium, one had to be a buy flip player, and Hobbs is that buy flip player. Um, he's quite good. He just handballs too much. He reads the contest really well in terms of knowing where the ball sits. So if there's a marking contest and he knows someone's going to bring it to ground, he's actually always standing in the right position. His work rate's actually pretty good. The only thing that sucks about Hobbs' pick is his time on ground is always managed, and he's always sitting on the bench for 7 or 8 minutes, and it's always a lot of the time it's the end of the fourth quarter, or he just he'll stay on there midway through a quarter for 8 minutes, and you think, get on there, mate. Like, you're actually really good per points per minute player. And I love that he got DPP, but I'm just not going to be able to use it anyway because this think his job is done for me. See what his points per minute. It wasn't too high this week, so I don't. I mean, look at this for a bloke that's on the score on the field for 84 minutes, scores 90. 88 minutes, 75. Like, I actually do rate Hobbs as a pick, and I think he'll be a breakout at some point. Maybe I'm just a year too early. He's doing this off what? So that's 21 possessions there. He's doing that off 17 possessions. So you just know if he gets to mid 20s, he's going to ton up. But anyway, you guys don't care. He's an absolute pod pick for a random side. And then Mitchell obviously didn't play. I wasn't going to get rid of him. I think he's just got still a bit more cash to make. He looks like a good player, break even 24. And that is my key this year is I don't want to cut rookies that aren't where their break even is achievable. That's why I've held on Baker for so long. Forward, 48, did pretty average. It's always a week you bring these rookies in and actually have to field them that they do nothing for you. And I think him and Baker didn't count for my score this week anyway because I had fielded 20. So wasted pick. But he's just a cash generation pick, to be honest. Like, he's just made 72K in a week. So yeah, what we're doing early next week, optimize. Surely you all know that Oliver's playing and we're not VCing him because he's probably the last game, being Quinn's birthday. I don't know what to do with the Briggs scenario. Who do they got? Marshall should dominate against Hickey. English, who's English have? He's got eyes set, and Briggs has gold standard. So I'll probably just leave it as is, to be honest. And I'm only missing Stewart this week, really. There's nothing really you do with this side. Maybe I can do some whipping, but my brain's not wide enough right now to think of any loophole scoring options at this very present time. I don't think McAndrew would get named. He looked pretty shocking against, well, whoever he played a fortnight ago, Carlton. Now, obviously, you can VC and see any bloke in your side you want. Let's see what English is like against Lyset. That might be an option. I really like Dunkley actually as well. Like, Dunkley's been scoring nuts of late. I know Hawthorn restrict mids, but can you restrict a bull like Dunkley? Like, he's just in incredible form. And maybe it's a form pick you pick. 149, 103, 153, and 146. So he's gone 140 3 of the last 4. I don't think Merritt against Carlton is somewhere I want to go because he gets tagged. Tigers against Freo, no, I don't want Taranto there. Definitely captaining Oliver. Wet against West Coast. I don't really care about tags with O'Neill and stuff like that either. 145. I do got Dawson as well. I might go Laird or Dawson. Oof. Probably thinking Laird into clarity at this stage. Now for trades too, this is going to be super weird. Now I won't be the first person to talk about this all week, and I won't be the last. But could we be a bit creative and do this? You guys are going to think it's an awful pick. Maybe a Crows fan can tell me what's up with this. Now, Ben Keys, his scoring's been pretty good over the last couple of weeks because he's done a tagging role. And he cost bugger all. He is I'm actually making 8K, not I give a crap about $8,000, but we know how good he was the last few years. Now, he's been playing forward all year. Now, he's played a role on Neil, and I don't know who he tagged in this game, but apparently he tagged maybe Anderson or something like that. Maybe Rhea, I'm not sure. He probably would have, I don't know. Anyway, regardless of that situation, he's gone back to back 102, 106. Now, you look at his total scoring, 3 100s, 90s, and 80s. So there's three there. But then so he's got half bad games and half good games. Now, is he going to stay in that midfield role? Because if he is, he's not a bad shout. Now, if I could do this one trade from Baker to Keys, I'd probably do it. But I think I'm just a little bit short in cash. But I am considering it just as a late F7 sort of swing. I can't do it with Baker, can I? Oh man, I'm like $1,800 short of doing it for Baker to Keys, which would have been freaking amazing. But it does look ugly, honestly. It's not worth risking picks when you've got such good cash generation to harp on about every week. So early stages, I am actually thinking Baker and Hobbs out, and probably just do the two trades, or none, to be honest, as well. Now, if I did this, I'd be going early on a rookie that's like 102k, like one of the mid-season draft players, like the West Coast bloke, Marek or whatever his name is, the goal kicker. West Coast is decimated with injuries. So maybe it's someone like that. Filter by while it's price should probably be a better option. Idiot. Going the opposite way. You guys are probably like, why is this bloke know how to use a bloody computer? So maybe one of these mid-season draft players, and the one I'm talking about is this bloke. He went a number one pick. Maybe he helps out Allen, and then it really means you can grab any damn player that you want. Now, I just want to bring in rookies with good job security. Now, these guys in the mid-season draft, there's three of them. One's from Sydney as a backman, and Sydney need players. So maybe we can go early because we just need these guys just for downgrade cash. I don't want to be paying up now. I've already used my paying up on Briggs because I made no immediate money off that because Tika was 249 and Briggs was, excuse me, 250 as well. So could go track, but he's got the buy. And Oliver's back, so his score probably regresses. But I do like Neil. He'll play throughout the buys as well. I just think he's a solid pick. He can score pretty awful. He's a good price. Like, when we talk awful, we're talking about two bad games. One against Carlton, one against Giants. The Port Adelaide game's fine. So probably could grab Neil. What's his next three opponents like? Doesn't do too well against Hawthorn these last couple of games, but I'm thinking about something like that. If I could do one trade Baker to Keys, I'd probably do that this week, but I can't. So probably that is what I'm thinking at this stage. I could hold trades just to see if these rookies are going to get games in future. But I also know that he's got a break even 59 and Hobbs of 70, so I don't have to get rid of him this week because I do got 60k or whatever I got floating around. But it's something I'm thinking about. I just like to play aggressive now. I just want to make upgrades at this end of the season. Now, if we look at my side as a whole, how many players do I need to upgrade? And now some of these are spectacle now. No, I don't know what the word is. Speculative, because we're not sure if they're keepers. So let's just talk about rookies on field. I've got one in Weddle, none in the midfield, and then I've got Mitchell. I'm going to call Hobbs rookie. So I've still got three upgrades to do. I can hold Day, I can hold Cheezel. But just 3 upgrades and 9 trades. So it's doable. I just want to have at least 4 trades left to go. And that's the reason why I think Keys would be handy as well, because he could be good cover, and just ends up being a mid forward swing. Let me know what you guys think. Now I thought about Fife, and me and Steve SDS SuperCoach been talking about him for 244k, but I've talked myself out of it because I just know what he's like. If you look on Footy Wire, have a look at his scoring history, but then you look at his games played, and for 244, I just don't want a guy that I'm just having on my bench constantly that's injured one game, a sub the next, and a sub off. Like, it's just going to be too annoying to even use an emergency. You may as well just grab a rookie from the from the mid-season draft. So I know I have rambled on a little bit more than I needed to, but just in case I do a late trades video, you sort of know where I'm going with it, and my VCs and Cs early. So leave the video there. Hopefully you guys scored well. If you got any trade plans, chuck them in the comments below or reply to them. And I don't normally say this, but give us a like and sub. I've been not low on views, but been a little bit low on likes, and it does get a little bit demotivating it sometimes, because you're like, where did all these people jump on at the start of the season and then they just fall off? I don't know if it's to do with my rank. Maybe I'm not doing something better than the others, but if you've got any constructive criticism, chuck it in. Maybe my videos go for too long, you don't like that. Just anything, just chuck it in. So I just want to make this channel better for you guys. And if there's anything I can do differently, just let me know in the comments below also. So hopefully you guys have a good one, and catch you on the next. Cheers.